Let's talk about WordPress backups. They're what bail you out if something terrible happens to your website. You should run a backup before updating plugins, or themes, or WordPress itself. You should have a backup running every day so that at any given time you can say, you know what? Get me a recent version. Let's take a look at some options here. There are two kinds of backups. One is called local, and that means that your web server is just copying all your files, putting them in a zip file, and saving them to the hard drive. That's fine. It's better than nothing. But if something terrible happens to your server, maybe a meteorite hits it or a hacker deletes everything, your backups are gone too. Better is remote, and that's where your backups are someplace else on the internet. It might even be inside the same network, but as long as it's not on the same server, you're much better off. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is who does the work. There are two options, your WordPress host or a WordPress plugin. Let me show you what I mean. I'm logged into SiteGround here, and this is a very common situation with most WordPress hosts. They provide backups. You can see here that I have daily backups going on, and at the top here, I could create a manual backup so that in addition to the daily one, I could make a backup, run my plugins. Oh no, it melted down, and restore immediately. That's really useful. Another example is on xCloud. Now, they offer both local backups and remote backups. SiteGrounds are only remote. They back them up on their own backup server. xCloud is a little bit more advanced as a host goes and gives you more options. I don't actually have any backups here because this is a brand new server, but I could make a local backup or I could make a remote backup. Additionally, with xCloud for remote backups, you can choose where you want those backed up. Maybe it's Amazon or your Google Drive or any FTP server anywhere on the internet. They can even email them to you, which I don't advise because that's a big file. But here are two examples, SiteGround and xCloud, of your host providing backups. And I actually recommend this. If your host provides it, use them. They're your best bet. However, another option is a WordPress plugin. If your host does not provide backups, there are still options. I'm on WordPress.org here, and I just searched for backup, and it says 1,873. That doesn't mean they're all backup plugins, but the best ones are at the top. Updraft is good. Jetpack is great. Duplicator, BackWP Up, all-in-one WP migration and backup, etc. They're all good. Pick one that you like. Updraft mostly does local backups, but provides an option for remote, similar to xCloud. Jetpack does only remote, and you don't have to think about it. So you have many options here. What's important is that you are running backups. And again, my first recommendation is to use your hosts. They know what they're doing. They're on a remote server. They're the least amount of thought you have to put into it while still having good backups. Failing that, there are some really good plugin options. As always, be sure to leave questions and comments in the comment section below.